Another win.
What?
This is a crazy fucking road trip, bro.
33 to 130 on an unbelievable night. I have to say the composure of this team was truly spectacular. As young as we are, I just watched how these guys matured in front of me. I was blown away because in a night that was all about LeBron James, that every single time he touched the ball, everybody went crazy. These guys held firm, held fast, came back from a deficit, and really just capitalized on this. They also were up 12 with a minute and something to go. They came back, and we were able to withstand that was just
surge.
That run. Unbelievable job by these guys. I get truly emotional because, first of all, I've only got like 4 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
Second of all, that was just amazing, man. Watching what happened last night and watching these guys keep that composure for the win. Like, I feel like this is proving to everybody what's up. And watching JDub really cement himself on national television as one of the best players in this draft and probably one of the better players at that power forward / guard combo position that he plays for a decade coming up. I mean, JDub, he shined. In the moment that I was sitting there going, who else is going to step up to allow us to win? JDub said, I got this, man. 40 minutes, 25 points, 1 block, 2 assists, 7 rebounds, 3 of which were offensive, 2 for 2 on free throws, 3 for 6 on 3-pointers. And Mark, how many steals did he have?
I remember 6.
6 steals. What the hell, man? Yeah,
it was a crazy game, dude. And we had the right type of focus. You got to give Coach a lot of credit. There's a lot of distractions, not distractions, a lot of hype, and it was perfect. But you want to come in and you don't want to have any pride about LeBron breaking the record, but you want to win the game. And they were able to keep those two things in focus the entire time. And it became very distracting in the midway through, but in the best type of way. After the game, seeing LeBron give Giddey, JDub, and SGA hugs on the court on that record-setting night, even maybe they didn't realize what was happening, but I felt like there was a massive passing of the torch happening, not just from Kareem to LeBron, but from LeBron to this young team.
Yeah, and there was this moment when LeBron's broke the record with 10 seconds to go in the third quarter, and they stopped the game. And I sat there, and I was thinking about the future and what it's going to look like in 18, 19 years, or even 17 years when Shai's at this point of his career. And I started thinking about it. I was like, wouldn't it be crazy? Wouldn't it be crazy if some of the records that LeBron's broken, Shai has an ability to break those records? Some of them, not all of them, but some of them. Wouldn't it be crazy if he has that ability? I mean, yeah, anybody's going to have to average, 27 points through 20 years of playing hoops in order to be able to get to there. But I can't even imagine like what that would be if people were like, we should have known Shai was going to be that good at that point. We should have known. And that's what gets me excited, is because like we as fans of the Thunder, like we drool over what players could be. And I look at Shai and I say, Shai last night really flexed. 30 points. He had 2 steals, 8 assists, 2 rebounds, 11 for 12 on free throws, 1 for 1 on 3-pointers, and 9 for 17 on field goals. Unbelievable job in his 38 minutes, man. And I look at him and I'm saying, this young man is taking that torch. And if he's going to be the new face of the NBA and the franchise face for the Thunder moving forward, we've got to get him a championship. And what better way of doing it? What better way of doing it than one of the strongest teams that we're going to see assembled in probably 100 years? Like the way that this team is being built is a team in a way that people will look back and write books. And I know Royce Young is going to write a book about this, and other people are going to write books about the way that the structure of this team's been built from the top, to the bottom. So that's what this is at. I mean, I know this team is doing great things and they're getting good, and just the composure just proved to me when a big moment is there, Josh Giddey's willing to step up. J-Dub's willing to step up. Shai's willing to step up. Chet will step up. Kenny Hustle played defense on LeBron really well. Yeah. It was an all effort last night, and I love it, man.
JWill had some massive plays too. Charge taking, offensive rebound getting, loose ball, foul drawing type shit. He is a master of like the subtle parts of the game, the positioning and moving his feet, and it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. What else do you want?
You say it, dude. Go for it, bro.
No, I love what JWill can do, man. Like, he got 31 minutes because of the way he was playing. You know, I got to say is somebody like JWill, I love the way that he looks at the game because he's a great three-point shooter, right? And because he's a great three-point shooter, teams are being forced to go out on him. And now he's at a 50% three-point shooter for the year, right? And teams are forced to go out on him, right? He gets that ball and he just doesn't shoot it and chuck it up every single time. He's a true team player. He passes the ball around the horn quickly because he recognizes there's going to be a different mismatch someplace else. Or he takes the ball, pump fakes, and then drives to the hole, dishing it well he can. He had 7 assists last night, guys. Yeah. And it wasn't just like, bloop. It was like these spectacular passes that was like, oh, that was a little bit of Josh Giddey mixed with, I just don't know. Like, the way he passes, the way he shoots, the way he rebounds, the way he takes charges. Like, I'm sorry, but like JRE, Baisley, anybody that plays that power forward / center position is in trouble. JWill is for real, and he's not backing down, and he's going to continue lighting up the stadium with that incredible smile of his. And unbelievable.
He's just shooting the ball like crazy. So if you only had one of those two things like working, he'd still be like, wow, we're really glad to have him out there. But he's an NBA player.
All of him.
Right? On a second round draft pick deal. So extremely team friendly. Like, we're just so impressed with our scouting department and our ability to find these diamonds in the rough. And also to have Isaiah Joe out there, and everybody, including the announcers, are like, hey, why isn't this guy in the 3-point contest?
Isaiah Joe needs to be in the 3-point contest. 5 for 10
100%.
last night, man. 15 points. Like, the threes that he was taking, he was stretching out that defense so much that it was giving guys like Wiggins an opportunity to get to the hole really hard. We saw because of that. We saw Josh Giddey able to get to the hole. We saw Shai getting able to get to the hole. Kenny Hustle got to that hole and was able to pick up a bunch of assists because of it. Like, Isaiah Joe's 3-point ability and being able to knock down 50% shooting 5 for 10. Like, that's, dude, come on. Like, this is next level. If we have a guy like that, and then a guy that is what I call a specialist scorer, getting out there when we see a lot of one-on-one playing and the defensive style that they play, then we have Trey Mann for that. And the Trey Mann step back, it's truly spectacular. But Isaiah Joe, when a team's playing a zone or a semi-zone, Isaiah Joe is the most deadly piece off the bench, maybe in the NBA. I mean, there might be one player or two players that may be more deadly than him, but man, I have a hard time finding that player.
There are going to be players who average more points, fine. But when you talk about, like you said, stretching the defense and making them defend 3-4 feet behind the arc, yeah, he changes the game. He changes the angles of the game. You go.
Yeah. No, you're right, dude. I was just agreeing with you. Hell yeah, dude. Like you have to guard him, and everybody knows that. So sometimes you see some of the deep threes that he's taking, guys, and you're saying, "Oh, I don't want him taking that." Okay, but here's the problem. All right, for the defense, if it even gets close to going in, the next time down, they got to spread out more, and they know that. All right, and every single thing that Isaiah Joe shoots is almost in. You know, like, dude, there's certain spots that's money automatically. But when he comes up and he passes the ball, right, and then he goes to his left, okay, and I'm telling you guys, he gets a much bigger defender on him, and he backs up just a little bit. I just can't. I mean, like, I don't know of a shooter that is able to play a guy like that. And you look at him, he's what, 6'2", 6'3", something like that, 6'1".
Yeah, he gets a shot off,
so
though.
big.
Yeah,
like, in his defense, man, like every single time he's out there, I feel like he's creating defensive plays, like whether it's stepping up and taking a charge, whether it's deflections, whether it's getting up there and to help defense and making sure he cuts off the guy at the baseline. Isaiah Joe is doing so many things, and you just got to look at him and say, I think we found our sixth man of the future, man.
Yeah, which brings us to like a big point, which is like the depth of this bench, and really how any given game we have a different player. And when we're healthy, we're going to have a different guy who performs the best off the bench. But yeah, like Isaiah Joe.
Okay. I got a question for you.
Yeah.
All right. If this was James Harden, right?
Mm-hmm.
Swap positions here. James Harden or Isaiah Joe. All right. Let's just say Isaiah Joe. This is Isaiah Joe's second year in the NBA. Okay.
Okay.
Compare Isaiah Joe's second year in the NBA to James Harden. And the reason I want to say this is because, like, I believe what Isaiah Joe can do is way more deadly than James Harden. Because if you look at what Russ said about James Harden when we got traded, it was like, James doesn't play defense, man. He doesn't deserve a max contract. So you look at Isaiah Joe, who plays defense and then hits that deadly three right there. He's, in my opinion, in year two, James Harden versus Isaiah Joe, I'm picking Isaiah Joe because what he's able to accomplish and do right now is truly spectacular. I know people are like, shut the fuck up. You just are tearing
But
down.
here's what I want to say, though, right?
It's about that team player, man.
Also, we assume we know what Isaiah Joe will look like in a few years just because, like, we're seeing him shoot the ball well now. But imagine that he's going to go through the same development process that SGA and these other guys have gone through in the past, right? So they're going to teach him to get to the free throw line more. They're going to teach him to get to the basket more. They're going to make sure he continues to improve all elements of his game, not just his shooting. He's not going to be treated like, oh, you're a specialist. So his game is still developing. And I like what you're saying. I had never thought about it, but it's kind of like the coach in you sitting there being like, he's not a finished product yet.
Yeah, and the thing is with Isaiah Joe, and I don't want to compare players because I know that James Harden is one of the best scorers of our generation. But I want to put it out there is that it's not all about scoring. And if it was all about scoring, then James Harden would have never left the Thunder.
Right.
You know, it was the other things that he was unwilling to do that created a non-team environment that Isaiah Joe is obviously willing to do. And that's when I sit as a coach and saying, would I rather coach James Harden or Isaiah Joe at year two in their careers? And we know what happened with James Harden in year two and the drama that happened there in Oklahoma City. So, like,
I mean,
me,
I like it. It's a
I'm
good
just sitting
point.
there saying, like,
But
Isaiah
you know
Joe creates such a different aspect to the game because of his two-way play.
You know what's sort of undebatable is that our bench is deeper, our bench is better, and like we heard Stan Van Gundy talking about Wiggins and how he seems like a multi-year vet out there. And you look at JWill, he looks like a multi-year vet. And you think about JRE, people say the same thing about him. Like, we're drafting these players with value who are giving us really good role player minutes, but also really big upside. And it's hard to really put a cap on their development. Like a guy like JDub, you're like, could he be an all-star? Yes. Will he be an all-star? Well, then you start thinking,
yes.
But here's the thing: a lot of people get really hesitant because they're like, for him to be an all-star, that means that maybe Giddey won't be an all-star, maybe Chet isn't an all-star, kind of thing. They start thinking that somebody has to lose a position, but that's not how it is. Development.
You know why they won't
players,
have to lose a position?
Why?
It's because one of these years he's going to play a forward position all year.
Okay.
And when he does that, it's an automatic, in my opinion. Like, he will either make, the backup squad or because of his defense. I mean, like, are you kidding? Six steals, man. Like, one block.
Right.
These are the things that are going to propel his game.
But what is
into
it, 25 points or something like that? I mean, he's scoring and he's passing and he's efficient. A playmaker and he's dunking exciting shit,
Offensive rebounds. When he gets the ball in the open court, it's so fast from one point to the other. And he knows where he's going, right? He's willing to do what it takes to dude, I'm telling you, when I think about the future of this team as a coach and as a developmental aspect of seeing how the Thunder have developed players, I literally say, I know, I hate when I do this because but I can't help myself, man, because I don't know if I've ever seen a better team put together. I don't know if I've ever seen a better team organized in the aspect of the players that we have, because we could have in a position in 3 years where we have 4 All-Stars.
But we got to be winning.
But that's what my point is that when we have Chet, when we have Josh, when we have Shai, when we have JDub, when we have JWill coming off the bench, Isaiah Joe coming up, I mean,
we're deep.
I mean, it's like what the hell? Like,
and then you add the picks that can give us all sorts of different things. Like I heard somebody say, if we had all the picks and none of the players, we'd have a head start at potentially winning a championship. And if we only had the players and none of the picks, we'd already be on track for a championship. But you combine them, and you don't know how it's going to be. A lot of people think if we use a pick, that means we have to get rid of a player. Over time, it will come to that. But early on, I think it's about how can we secure enough space to make sure everybody here has as long of a runway as they need. So it's been an incredible
all the little things, man. Like, like superstars and stars do all the little things.
Right.
Like when you're seeing players that are rookies doing all the little things, you're like, okay, but that's reserved for stars and ultra stars. And, these are things you only see guys like Kobe and guys like, Shaq and all the greats do. These aren't things that you see rookies do. And at much like, you're like, okay, like, am I just, I don't know, am I seeing what I want to see?
Right.
Or is this, truly not a mirage in front of me? This is what we have, that Sam Presti has truly put together a masterpiece, and we get to watch this team. I mean, look at how they kept I go back to this, the composure last night, guys. Look at what they did. Everybody's going crazy. Everybody's going bonkers. Shai gets everybody relaxed. Josh Giddey gets everybody relaxed. Josh Giddey goes off and scores 4 points in that fourth quarter, which was crucial because it was drive. Like, these guys, they did what we needed to do to win the game, and it was truly unbelievable. And that's what gets me so hyped right now, is because we're sitting here talking about these players, and you're like, ooh, yeah. JWill, he did amazing. Look at what he could do. I mean, does he have a place as a starter? Is he going to be better than so-and-so? Is he going to be... Bro, I've never been able to do this with a team, ever.
Yeah. Ever. And when you combine it with what we saw last night with LeBron, putting his name number one in the history books, but we're sitting there and watching this team stay focused. Yes, that Warriors game was difficult, but we learn lessons and we see them applying while we're on the road. We got a game coming up against the Blazers. That's going to be fucking bonkers, bro, because I feel like we could blow them out.
Yeah. And I gotta say, Kenny Hustle, great job last night. I truly feel honored that you will be remembered in history for being the one that LeBron hit that true LeBron shot on you, fadeaway shot on you. Like, I understand it's not something that you probably necessarily wanted because of the competitiveness that you have, but in 25 years, when you're telling all your kids and grandkids about this moment, you'll look back at this and be like, you know what, I'm all right with this because, he
had the best view in the whole world. And
he did, man. Like, what else do you want as a player? Like, again, here we are.
It's not like giving up a home run to like the record setter. It's like, it's a team game. It's different.
Yeah. And here we are with this opportunity. And like, I look at it and how these guys came out on top, and the way that we played, the heart that we played with, being down, LeBron going off, like, we just kept our composure. We kept on going, and we played so strong in that fourth quarter. To me, it was like, you know what? This team just got a first top of the line education right here.
Yeah.
In this night. And guess what they did? They proved that they can win playoff atmosphere away.
Yeah.
And scoring 133 points in the process, man.
Yeah. And it was crazy. It was like two teams that were just going to try to outscore each other. But the way the Lakers were applying pressure, it felt like they were going to be able to take the game from us. Man. Yeah, gladiator level matchup. It felt like heavyweight. It felt like a championship title contender type fight. Every time LeBron caught the ball, the place erupted and cheers. And the energy was unlike any experience that I've ever seen in my entire lifetime. But then they showed a highlight when Kareem broke the record.
Yeah.
And you could feel the same energy,
bro,
in that clip.
I said last night on the thing, the only time I've ever felt that energy, it was at the Staples Center when Kobe broke the record and had 60. And it was like every single time he touched the ball after like 35 points, the place erupted. And it was like the same type of like atmosphere. But this was so much more in a way, because like with Kobe scoring 60, saying goodbye to the NBA versus LeBron breaking the record, it was like, and
dude, it was crazy. And everybody who joined us on YouTube live, thank you. That was a blast. And if you want to join us next time, for YouTube Live. Make sure you subscribe and put on the alerts, and we're going to ding your bell when we show up. So thanks for joining us, and we can't wait to ding your bell. We love you, and we will see you next time.